Hey guys, it's me. I'm back with another story time, and I have not done a story time for so long. I used to do them back when my channel was like really weird and new. Not saying that my channel's not really new and weird still, but I think I've developed a little bit more. And this story time actually brings us back to high school, probably like my senior year. And you know those moments where you're like, you think of a story that's like really embarrassing and you're like, yeah, no, that's not gonna bother me anymore. I've put that in the past. Yeah, no, every time I think about this, I actually go into like a shock of like embarrassment. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. So today I'm gonna be telling you guys the times that I've gotten pulled over. And for anyone that knows me, they know that I am not the best driver. I've definitely excelled a little bit more, but in driving school, I literally had to have the driving instructor sit with me to pass my pre-exam to actually get onto the road. Yeah, because I failed it the first time, so he literally had to sit with me and help me pass. He saw I was trying and he's like, all right, well, I guess I'll help her. You know, the DMV will just put anyone on the road. The first time that I've ever gotten pulled over, my dad had actually showed me what my brights were, and he showed me like when to use them. And I didn't really listen to him when he was explaining this, but he was like, you only use your brights when it's like very necessary, when you really can't see at night. And I just didn't really listen to that. And so he had turned on my brights to just show me as an example, and I had turned them on, and I was driving around with them for probably like 2 weeks, and I didn't even notice that I had them on. So one night I was coming home from an old job and a cop pulled me over, and I was like, what? I was going the speed limit. I wasn't even speeding. Like, what is this about? So he pulls me over. He's like, you have your brights on that can blind people. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know. And he like reached into my car and like turned them off. He's like, you dummy. And then the next few times were just like speeding tickets. I've actually gotten a few speeding tickets. It's actually surprising. I haven't gotten one in the last like 6 months. It's probably because I haven't been driving a lot because I've been traveling. But this next one, you guys, it is literally like a blonde moment and more. Like it's so embarrassing. Okay, I had just gotten my contacts. Like for the very first time, I got contact lens. It was my first day of wearing them. And so I had this friend that was going to college in downtown Denver. If you know downtown Denver, it's like literally the worst place to drive. Everyone is just going everywhere. Like there's so many one-ways and like different signs and all this stuff. It's just a chaotic place to drive. I had never really driven downtown Denver before, so I drive down there to meet her, and she's like, hey, meet me here. I'm at the college. We're hanging out with a group. So I'm like, all right. I put in my GPS. It's like 30 to 45 minutes away, and I'm like, all right. I'm doing totally fine until I get downtown Denver. That's where this all fell apart. So the first red flag of this story time is there was a big train coming on train tracks. It had like the train sign where it's like a train's coming, and I decided, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna ignore that sign and just go anyways. So I go into the turn lane where the train's coming, and I literally almost got hit by a train. Like it was honking its horn at me, and I was like, oh shit. Turned my wheel like so fast and got out of the way, so I almost literally got smashed by a train. So that's where it fell apart first. Then I finally get to like around the area where the college campus is. It was a very confusing kind of like route and everything. So I pull up like to where the campus is, and for some reason in my brain, the campus grounds, like the actual ground of the campus where like the students walk and like you walk to get to your classes, and the road, they just looked very similar to me for some reason at that moment. You guys are probably gonna think I'm so stupid for this. You know what? I am dumb for this. What was I thinking? I pull up to the campus and I'm like, all right, well, there's no parking. Even though there was a little parking garage like right next door, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna try and like go closer to the door to see like where she is. So there's cones, you know, those like orange cones where they tell you do not like enter, like caution, do not enter here. Well, I thought, you know, I'm gonna take my car and put it just right in between the cones. Like, so I literally drove between the cones. I ended up on the college campus, like where these students walk. Like I said, it wasn't just like an area that was close to the campus. I was literally on the grounds of the campus, like the walking grounds. My face is gonna start like getting red. This is so embarrassing. I keep driving. In the first like 30 seconds, I thought I was like just still going on a road. There was no signs or anything like that. This is such a blonde moment. Woo! And then all of a sudden I was like, why aren't there any other cars? Like I was looking around, I was like, I'm the only car on here. There just must not be anyone like on the campus right now. Like no one is driving, because it was like a little later at night and the sun had gone down. So I'm like, all right, well, people probably aren't like on the campus at this time at night. So I keep going, and all of a sudden I see these students walking out. And that's when I was like, oh, I messed up real bad. And I keep driving around the campus grounds. I was trying to like get out, because at this point when I saw people walking out, I was like, oh crap, okay. So I tried to turn around, and I was literally like turned around and lost. I could not find my way out. And then I end up at these like concrete pillars, and I can't go anymore. And so as this is happening, I'm starting to panic, and my face is like getting really, really red. And I start bawling because people around me are coming out of their classes and they're all laughing at me and taking videos and pictures, and there's all these like flashlights on me from their phone cameras. People are just like literally cracking up at me. So I put my car in park, and I had a beanie on, and I literally just put it over my head, and I just started crying. And then I called my friend. I was like, I need you to come out here, like I'm on the campus, I'm stuck. And so she comes out, and she's literally like dying laughing. She gets in the passenger seat, and she like directs me how to get like back out of the campus. And then everyone is like continuing to still take pictures and videos of me laughing. I would give anything to see a picture of my car just sitting on a college campus behind concrete barriers where I like literally can't go any further. Can you imagine what those people thought? Like, this idiot, oh my god. They probably thought I was like on something. What made it worse is I like put my hazards on. Like as I had put my beanie down, I literally put my hazards on and just started bawling. So as if I didn't draw enough attention to myself with my big giant car being on the college campus, now I have my hazards on to let everyone know that I'm there. So my friend comes and directs me out, and she's like laughing at me. So this one guy was like taking a video as she was walking up, and she was laughing, and she was like, hey, can you please delete that? That's my friend. And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. And I don't even think he deleted it, because I wouldn't. So she directs me out, and not even like a minute later a cop pulls me over, and he gets out, and he's even laughing at me. And I'm still crying, like wiping my tears away, because I was just very confused. It was my first time driving downtown, gosh. He comes up and he's like, hey, you know you're not supposed to drive on the college campus, right? And I was like, I'm sorry, yeah, like I got lost. And I was like sniffling, and my friend was like laughing still. He was laughing at me. He's like, can I see your driver's license? He's like, all right, I know it can be confusing on these college campuses, but just don't do that again. Well, I did it again, but not this time at a college campus. The next time I actually did it at Washington Park in Denver, Colorado, where there's a lot more people to see me. And of course, you know, the time that I had like messed up and parked my car and where I got stuck, people had to start coming out of their classes. Like, it's just my luck. So this next time I was going to meet one of my friends, and we had a meeting location of Washington Park. And Washington Park is like a very popular park in Colorado. It's where people go biking, roller skating, they walk their dogs, like there's events there, like people have huge picnics, like it's a huge family area with lots of people. And so I'm driving around, I finally get to the location, I'm driving around, I can't find parking, and once again I see the orange cones, and I decide to just go right through them. Since there's like a lot of bikers, some people have like electric bikes where they like track the speed and everything, and so there's like a speed limit sign for the bikes. So I saw the speed limit sign, and I was like, okay, well this looks like a road. It was literally like a pavement road. Like it was a road, but not for cars. It was a road for bikes and roller skaters and people with strollers and stuff. I turn on to the bike path, and I see the speed limit sign. I'm like, okay, well this is weird. I'm the only car on here, but I'm just gonna keep going. So I start going, and all of a sudden I see a lot of people, and they're all like crowding around everywhere, and I'm like driving at this point like 5 miles an hour because there's just like a sea of people. And I almost like hit a guy. Like I almost hit like 5 people because I was driving so slow, and they were like biking in front of me, and they didn't see that there was like a car behind them, because there's not supposed to be cars on this freaking road. It's an electric bike path. It's a bike path for electric bikes and scooters, and like for families to like roll their strollers with their child in them. Oh my god. I keep going, and there's just a sea of people, and people have to keep like parting ways to like get out of my way. And that's how it happened in the last one too on the college campus. Like people were literally parting ways for my car to like make way through the crowd. Oh my god. And at this point I'm like, all right, well I'm already too far into the like bike path road. like I can't really like turn around. And so I just keep going, and people keep like yelling at me. They're like, hey, you're not supposed to be on this road. People are like literally yelling at me at this point, like, roll down your window, like, what are you doing? Like, get off the bike path, what are you doing? People are getting really angry at me at this point, as they should, because I was like pretty much almost hitting people, because like they were riding their bikes as fast as they could, but my car was coming up like really close to them. I finally get to this point where like there's pillars. It's like a little dirt area where like I can turn around. And so I stop and I just evaluate, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so bad, like I'm doing this again. So I back up, and I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to back up with like all these people in the way? So I start backing up, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do it. And people see my cars backing up, but now people that are coming like the other direction, where I'm like driving this way now instead of head on, they're coming up on their bikes, and so now I have to go slow again when I go back out. So I back up, go back out, and people are continuing to yell at me and saying like, hey, you can't drive on here, get off this bike path. There were people with strollers, there were people with babies, there were people roller skating, walking their dogs, like, and there was a lot of people on this road too. It was so embarrassing, and I just had to be like, I know, I'm trying to get off, I'm sorry. I remember at one point this lady was like, you can't be on here, and before I realized I couldn't be on here, I was like, wait, what? My dumbass, I was like, okay, well, there's no cars, like, how do I not put 2 and 2 together? You're the only car in the sea of people. I keep making my way down, people continue to part ways. I come up really close to this biker, and I have to go like literally under 5 miles an hour, or else I would have hit him. I didn't know what to do. Like at one point there were so many people, I just had to like stop my car and wait for people to like pass. And then they like would turn around and see that my car was there, and they were like, oh, what the hell? And so I finally made my way off of that, and people were like literally like running after my car, like yelling at me. So that was like literally probably the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know. Please keep me off the roads and do not let me drive anywhere. Like if we're going to hang out and you're like, do you want to drive or should I drive? You better be driving, because you do not want to end up on a college campus or a park bike lane. Like, oh my god. But I don't know. At the time, I was just stressed, and I was a new driver. It looked like a road to me. I eventually got back on the road, got in a parking spot. I went and told my friend, and he was like, you did what? Luckily, I haven't done that since, but now I know I can take the hint with orange cones to not go through them. So luckily, I did not get pulled over that time, but I did get publicly humiliated for the rest of my life. I will never forget that. Oh my god. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. It's been such a long time since I've done story times, and I can't wait to do more. I have a lot more of them. My life is so crazy. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys can subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let me break my camera.